Hello, welcome back to my channel. So it was my 6 weeks post-op check-in today at Stanmore. I had to go into central London for this appointment to go to the Bolsover Street branch of Stanmore, which I was terrified about because I hadn't dealt with public transport after my op. Like, the only public-ish transport I've had to deal with is the one taxi I had to get to my doctor's appointment. And other than that, I've just been in my dad's car or my mother-in-law's car, and I was really anxious about it. My dad has been phenomenal. My dad came with me because my dad comes with me to all of these appointments. My dad really eased all my anxiety today, which has been great. We got to the station where I live and we were really lucky. We parked up and we had about a 10-minute wait for the train, which was enough time for me to go to the loo, get tickets, We got a seat, and I took my, it's downstairs at the moment, but I took my cushion that I've got, which has been amazing. And I'm kind of, that's going to be my, if I have to deal with public transport again or whatever, that's my cushion. And the cushion alone made the shitty train seats a lot more bearable and comfortable, which was great. When we got to King's Cross, went outside, we got a taxi, which was actually a lot more painless than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be horrendous, but it wasn't too bad. And then we got to the hospital from there. We got there really early. So we got there early, had the x-ray, because you have to have an x-ray before any appointment like this. And when I went down to the x-ray, the lady that did the x-ray was actually the lady who did my, the last x-ray I had there before my op, when I had my like pre-op appointment with him. And she remembered me and she was quite excited to see the transformation of my spine. And she was really excited and she was like counting all the screws and things like that. And her excitement was quite infectious. So these are what my current x-ray looks like. So I've got the normal view and then the side view. I cannot get over how straight my spine looks compared to how it was before. Here is the before, in case you can't remember. I'm baffled. Like, I didn't get this surgery for wanting my spine to look straight. I had the surgery because my curves were both progressing pretty rapidly. Every time I had an x-ray before the op, they progressed a lot. And one of them was impacting my lungs. I went upstairs with my little bit of paper, gave it to the man on the front desk, and he told me where to go. And I know where Mr. Shafaffi's office is. So we had about a 5-minute wait before the appointment. Unfortunately, Mr. Shafaffi had literally done an operation on somebody this morning, so we couldn't see him, but it was fine because I'm happy seeing anyone in his team, to be honest, because everyone in his team saw me when I was in hospital. And I had the pleasure of being reunited with Krishan. He was there with me on the day of my op. He was one of the first people to come around and see me. I'd spoke with him on the phone countless times on the build up to my op. And I have really vivid memories of Krishan coming round to see me in hospital. So it was really nice to see him again. He was so excited to see how I was getting on. I had a few questions. So there's a part of my scar down the back, which is, I've been telling everyone and their mother, been telling my fiance, my mum, my dad, my nan, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, that I've been worried about this one specific part of my scar. And turns out I've got a keloid. Woo! But he said that the point is, the scar is now healed, like on the surface. So that it's not anything to stress about and it's fine, like it's not an issue. But he said at this point to start massaging some bio oil into the scar. I used this shit as a teenager religiously because I was born with hip dysplasia. I have a really hefty scar on my right hip, which as a teenager I got bullied for quite relentlessly and I hated it. But now I couldn't give a fuck and I think it's really cool. And the fact that I now have the really cool scar on my hip and I have an even cooler scar on my spine, like, he said that given the fact that I'm 6 weeks post-op, he said my mobility is phenomenal and he thinks I'm a lot more capable than I think I am, which I definitely am because, like, I'm really paranoid. So I'm very wary and reluctant to do a lot of stuff. I've been using my walking stick a lot because I think it's a confidence thing more than anything. I don't use it when I go for my walk down the garden, but like if I'm having a shit day, I'll use it. and if I'm going on slightly longer walks I'll use it. But he basically said that for my back's sake, he thinks it's not really worth me using. I've been signed off to go swimming in a month and a bit's time. Thank the Lord, because I want to go swimming so bad. Can't wait to go and do that. Can't do any strenuous exercises or movements. That's going to be too much for 9 months, because it's just not worth the risks. That kind of makes things in terms of my work a bit tricky, and that's a bridge I'm going to have to cross. He also got me to do some like bending down and some leaning, so he could like feel down my spine, see how it's feeling, and everything's where it needs to be. If he said it feels great. I was really stressed about this appointment for no fucking reason, basically. I think the journey was worrying me and stressing me more than it should. But the journey, the appointment was fine. And the taxi drivers we had both there and back were lovely. And they were quite respectful of the fact that I was quite slow and a bit, you know, especially for the fact that they knew they were dropping me and picking me up from near a hospital. And I would like to finish this up by expressing how thankful I am for Stanmore, Mr. Shafafi, Krishan, everybody in Mr. Shafafi's team, because the care and the kindness they have given me during this journey has been second to none. The best thing about this whole journey is the fact that I have felt in control the whole time, but everything's been explained to me in a way that's meant that I understand it, which for someone that has a brain like mine really helps. And I can't put into words how thankful I am that Mr. Shafafi did that for me. And yeah, so my next appointment there isn't till December, which seems so far away. It's 6 months away, which is like my kind of 9-month check-in. I think it's 9-ish, be like 8 and a bit months. And yeah, I just find it mental that I've had my 6 weeks check, because it feels like my op was literally like yesterday. My body doesn't feel like my op was yesterday. Like, compared to how I was at the start of my recovery, I'm so much better, like more mobile, not in as much pain. Still feeling a bit shit mentally, but that's what CBT's for. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.